Hi, everyone, and welcome to Artificial Entertainment. This week, we're doing something special for our friend Tyler here.
What?
We certainly are.
Stop
Are.
it. No, don't.
Yeah.
Well, Mason's hunched over his computer doing something. You mind explaining exactly what that is?
Okay.
He's hiding it from the wife, so I'm a little concerned.
So here's what I'm doing. I am signing Tyler YAHNE,
For the army?
great compatriot, up for the next season of The Bachelor.
Oh,
Well, that's
no,
worse
do
than
the
the
army,
army.
actually. That's much
No.
better.
I really think this will be, an interesting, eye-opening experience for you.
No, don't.
I can see
don't
Tyler
do
fitting
it.
in the Navy.
I'm slightly overweight. I earn less than 14 an hour. The women don't.
Keep feeding them. I'm filling out the application. These are all good things. ABC wants
No, stop
headshots
it.
now.
Stop it.
Okay. Well, what's the criteria? What are we trying to do? How do we get him picked?
So listen, I
You
mean,
lie. That's how you get me picked.
honestly, I mean,
Oh.
the criteria here, ABC makes it really simple. The criteria is just you need to be a guy, and especially in today's society, that's a very loose adaptation. So I think we can make this happen for him. I'm married, you're married, Lakaitis. So I think this is your best option here. And I mean, frankly, looking at the current season's Bachelor, I think the bar is pretty low. So
I mean, I'm in a relationship currently, but she might be cool with it.
it's okay.
you know, two of
Have you
them.
met
Two
Have
of
you
them.
met Becca M? Have you met Becca M?
I've never heard of Becca in.
Becca M. She is a delight. She is a delight.
What does the M stand for?
I think it's Martinez. She is a
Oh,
delight.
a little bit of
Latina.
Spanish blood.
Rrrr.
Really, she awesome. Brennan and I both have a crush, so it's
Great.
good. It's good.
Then why don't you two go on The Bachelor and I'll stay home?
I was
and
about to
host?
say, Mason.
Trust
I
me.
didn't know you actually
I
watched
thought.
The Bachelor.
I thought. Oh, trust me. She's been making me. I thought. We could both try it. We could do a little bit of. That kind of an effort.
Oh, so you want to make it a
but
competition? Like you, me, and Brennan go on The Bachelor
It
and see who wins her
just
heart.
made things really complicated. You're
Interesting.
absolutely right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brent just cleans up.
Yeah, Bren just makes it all the way through each rose ceremony.
Would
Boom,
Brennan
there
be
you
in
go.
drag?
No, actually, here's going to be the thing.
She'd
If
go on
you
as
become the
Brian.
Bachelor, I'm actually going to suggest that as an interesting plot element to drive the show forward, you also perform as a woman on the show as well, as you're one of the
dual
contestants.
role?
A dual role.
All
Interesting.
great comedians do them eventually when their career's going downhill.
Or getting started.
ladies. I wish to win the heart of the fair young sir.
All right. Well, as we
Exactly.
figure out who's actually going to be on The Bachelor, let's play the theme song.
The theme song's over. It's a YAHNE episode. Hooray!
Oh boy.
I'm
Tyler,
so happy.
welcome to Artificial Entertainment. I'm your host, Josh
And
Lakaitis.
I'm your
With me
host, Tyler YAHNE, and these are my compatriots, Mason and the other guy. We got a lot of neat things.
I have a name.
His name is Mason.
I was the other guy in this situation. He said you. He said
No,
Mason.
no, I'm saying I'm excited that I have a name.
Okay,
I feel special.
Winnie and Price are my co-hosts, and we have just the best hour and a little bit extra for you fun kids here on NPR. What's the program's name?
Artificial Entertainment.
That's the one. So let's start with the news. The news. What is in the news? Probably a sex pervert, but let's keep digging a little bit. So Fox has announced a thing.
Nope, that's not it.
Okay. I need a hint. Give me something. Give me something to.
Transformers
Transformers 6.
being
Starring Ben Kingsley.
rebooted.
Oh, it's being rebooted?
Yeah, I
Yep,
heard that.
After the Bumblebee movie, it will be rebooted and become part of a cinematic universe that includes G.I. Joe.
Barbie?
I hope so.
Light
Whatever
Bright.
Micronauts.
Honestly,
If Mr. Potato Head
your
is not the
favorite
Nick
toy.
Fury of this cinematic universe, I will be very upset.
Okay.
TBH, I would be cool with a cinematic universe of Transformers, G.I. Joe, and He-Man. I'd be okay with that.
I think He-Man is Mattel. And they already made a
I
He-Man
don't
movie
care.
that cannot be topped, so we won't try.
Do you guys
Honestly.
know what Micronauts are? Because they're saying that's going to be part of it.
Yeah, it's the little.
Hello,
those
I'm the
little
micro machine
cars.
guy.
Yeah, he knows. He knows.
I've never heard of them
Is
before.
that guy dead?
No, I think he's still kicking it somewhere.
Is he hosting auctions?
Maybe in Guadalajara.
Is he in Guadalajara? Did he have to flee the country?
I was going to say, he's hiding out somewhere in Brazil.
If he got charged with cocaine, I would not be surprised.
Oh my gosh.
It all makes sense.
So, are you looking? Would you guys want this?
No.
I mean, anything's better than a Michael.
I don't.
No,
Are they ending with the Bumblebee movie produced by the guy who directed Kubo and the Two Strings? No, directed by.
yeah, directed.
Oh no.
I don't know. I feel like why not reboot it with this movie since it's technically a prequel?
It's true.
You know, it's going to get rid of any canon that the Michael Bay film
What
set up. So
canon?
why not?
That's true.
Didn't they kill off Shia LaBeouf and not even address it?
I don't know if he's again.
Or did he grow up to be Mark Wahlberg?
never watched any. No, he grew up to be. Oh wow, this joke would have worked if I could remember the actor's name. He grew up to be Hannibal.
Oh, he's Anthony Hopkins?
Yeah, he grew up to be Anthony Hopkins in the 5th film
That's great.
or 6th film.
Oh.
Hey, Anthony Hopkins. There's robots everywhere. What's up with that? That's my Mark Wahlberg. That was for you on this YAHNE episode. So, enough about Transformers. On to the next piece of news. Disney has announced it's going to do a thing with the property you love. Winnie, take it away.
Joss Whedon is officially off of Batgirl.
Oh.
No,
yeah.
already?
Yep.
I don't like when you do the news. What happened?
According to him, he just couldn't think of a good story.
Is he going to adapt 30 minutes of The Killing Joke?
I don't know. But I don't know if this is Warner Brothers blaming him for Justice League.
They'll blame anyone but themselves.
Yeah, really.
Apparently, Zack Snyder got fired. All right, any other news we want to talk about?
Nope. That is the news for this
What
episode.
a depressing news story. Okay. All right.
So let's. Do you guys want to discuss Black Panther, or do you want to
let's
get
Black
Let's
Panther
get to
out
the
of
main
way.
of it. Okay, all right.
Remember, it's a
YAHNE
YAHNE episode, so
episode.
we have
We're
to do what
talking
he
about
says.
Black Panther. It's a movie.
All right, real quick.
It's another Marvel movie where a thing happens, and it was okay.
Yep.
It was okay.
It was a good movie. Nothing great.
The villains were great. I did not find T'Challa particularly interesting. It was literally everyone else in the movie but T'Challa was more interesting. I'm like, his sister's cool. She makes things.
Oh, sure.
That's neat.
Shuri ended up being my favorite character.
She's amazing. Lupita
All right. Hold on to it any longer. It's going to become racist. Let's move on.
She's great.
For me,
Maz Kanata, who plays Butthole Eyes in Force Awakens, was great as Mrs. Black Panther.
For me, honestly, like there are a lot of great elements in this film, but the story and the plot itself
kind of unengaging. Well, it's not until Michael B. Jordan shows up that I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Wakanda's hoarding all this technology and science that could help people, but the villain's going about it all wrong. And okay, his father isn't who we thought he was. Like, that's interesting, but that's not like until like an hour and some into the movie.
And then it kind of passes away.
Like a fart.
Once
the rhinoceros showed up, I was back in though. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
I'm all for this.
Ultimately, I have to say I love what this film represents more than I love the film itself.
Mm-hmm.
I love being able to have this representation in films, because movies should not just star a bunch of white guys.
Yeah, there should be more rhinoceroses. I was thinking the same thing.
Yep.
Mason, you haven't
Mace,
had.
I know you have
Yeah,
you have a different opinion than Tyler and I. So
I
please.
loved it. I loved it. I loved pretty much everything about it. I'm sorry that you guys feel that a character that is a king in the MCU can't, meditate on the weight of that role and what it means. Instead, has to romp around.
I feel like he's trying to insult us, but I don't understand what he's
doing
saying.
it so intelligently. I don't have a comeback.
Honestly, like what I see in Chadwick Boseman's portrayal of T'Challa is what I want out of Thor, which is a leader who understands the weight of their role. So it was exactly what I was looking for.
Well,
I
now
enjoyed
Thor
it.
is kooky. Maybe T'Challa will be kooky in the next one.
Yeah, really.
That's the thing I liked about this one. Like, it's not a joke based.
No, but it has the worst joke in any of the Marvel movies so far.
The worst joke from my favorite character.
It was
what are
so
those?
bad. When it was relevant, it wouldn't have been funny. But like 3 years after the fact, no.
Yeah,
that's what made me laugh about it.
The thing is, and okay, light spoilers for Black Panther. Light, keep it light. Do not spoil anything. But this film takes place a week after Civil War, so was that meme relevant then?
What are you getting at?
Technically speaking,
What are you getting at?
I'm just saying, for this movie takes place in 2016.
So you're saying his
I don't know.
sister was on her phone before that scene and was like, "That's a funny thing that maybe my brother has seen. I will reference it."
I don't know.
Well, here's the thing about the timeline, which I noticed in Homecoming, because like Avengers, I guess takes place in like 2012.
The timeline's screwed
No,
up.
yeah,
for
and then
sure.
they're like 8 years later, and I'm like, what the heck? Can I not do math anymore?
And yeah, Mason, it's ultimately I don't think Black Panther's character is the biggest flaw in this movie. I think the plot is.
Yes.
Because once, again, not spoiling anything, but once a certain character gets to Wakanda, it's pretty easy to go beat for beat what happens in the rest of the movie.
Gee, I wonder what character from the trailer goes to Wakanda at the end.
Just being cautious.
could it
Iron
be?
Man.
I don't want to ruin the movie for anyone that hasn't seen it.
Could
Yeah,
it be that
and-
guy?
But like, this was being hailed as Marvel's greatest movie.
Who said
and-
that?
A lot of people, honestly, you're not
yeah.
wrong. A lot of people are hailing it
Even
that way.
Feige said it.
Well, Feige
Yeah.
says a
Kevin
lot of
Feige.
things.
This is true. But like, I expected more from the story. And that, like, I love the world it's set
Yes,
in. Like,
there were so
Wakanda
many
is
vistas.
beautiful.
I love Wakanda.
I love the Afrofuturism. I think that's the correct term for it.
Actually, I think
It
you
should
nailed
be.
it right on the head there. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
Like-
That's pretty impressive for someone who can't get their twos and twos and twos right.
I understood
Again, I'm
that.
saying this, not writing it out, so shut up.
See, if this was the written word, you would be it'd be like
I
A
would be
P
very
H
screwed.
R O Afro.
I think ultimately my favorite scene was Black Panther's inauguration as king, and just like all the boats on the lake,
That was weird.
and like the dancing and the music and everything.
Can someone
I
explain
loved it.
Wakanda to me? Because they're like more advanced than us, but then they're doing like primitive tribal things, and it's like, and they
It's
still
not-
believe
it's
in a
the culture.
constitutional monarchy,
So I mean, I don't think
which
I don't
they
think there's anything
prove in the
necessarily.
movie is a flawed system. Because Michael B. Jordan, spoilers.
We interrupt this podcast to let you know that if you want to avoid any Black Panther spoilers, you're going to want to skip about 3 minutes ahead. We now return you to your regularly scheduled podcast.
Michael B. Jordan, spoilers, comes up and he's like, I want to be the king. I will challenge you to a fight. And then he beats him in the fight. And then he is king and nobody questions it until the end.
Well, I mean,
some people
consider
question
you have a country that has sealed themselves off, an isolationist country that sealed themselves off from the world. So not only are you going to have technological advancement, but you're going to have steeped in traditionalism. I mean, is that really anything
Yeah.
so different from some things in our country right now?
Right. Like our country doesn't have subway stations that look like video game cutscenes.
What is he referencing? I don't understand.
The end,
the final fight.
when they're fighting.
Okay. All right.
It looked like a PlayStation 2 game.
Yeah. Can we? Okay. I don't want to dissect this film too much, but like, Black Panther's suit is indestructible, and he cannot be hurt while wearing it.
Unless,
do you feel that takes away some of the tension?
I guess.
Like, I never felt worried for him.
Oh no, not at all.
The only way for there to be suspense is they literally had to take his superpowers away.
Well, that's what they did with Thor in Ragnarok. They took his hammer away and
if you do it right, you can have both, I think. You can have the coolness of his indestructible suit, which, I mean, with how it's powered in this film or not, it's still a vibranium suit, so he wasn't in threat in the other film, in Civil War either.
But he wasn't the focus, so that wasn't.
Yeah, no, I understand. I understand. I think that's not what's at stake here. I mean, the important thing that's at stake is the future of Wakanda, and I feel like you grow to care a lot about Wakanda over the course of the movie, and that's what it's really about. It's about Wakanda.
It's really about family at the end of the day, you know.
All right, before we move on, can we talk about how great Andy Serkis is?
I wanted more.
In this movie?
I wanted more. They Snoped him again. Spoiler alert! But it reminded me because it's the same actor in another Disney product.
No, that is true.
Yeah, they Snoped him again. I was like, oh boy, I really enjoyed Claw and his little bit in Ultron. I can't wait to see more of him. And then like 30 minutes in the movie, it's like,
you did not care about him in Ultron.
It was fun, and I love Andy Serkis. You did never get to see his face. So I'm like, what are they gonna do with him in Black Panther? It turns out they do a little bit, and then they don't do anything.
Yeah, no, I'm watching. I'm sitting there watching. I think it's his second scene. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's my favorite Marvel villain.
He is
already. He has become my favorite Marvel villain.
He has so much fun just being evil, and it's great.
He's very charismatic.
I love his little arm.
Yeah. His weird plasticky arm.
Yeah.
I wish we got to see him in his full red onesie.
No. What? No.
What? No.
What? No.
Wow.
Oh, that would have been great. All right, Tyler. You want to bring us in?
I want to bring us
part
in
of today's episode.
This has been an absolute treat, and like it's something that's been on my heart for over a decade now. But we're gonna talk about The Thief and the Cobbler. Now, most Garden Variety listeners will be like, oh, what is that? What are you talking about?
What's a cobbler?
Yeah, what's a cobbler? What is a dessert? But there's also a man who fixes shoes. So it's
what Daniel Day-Lewis did for a bit.
He was a cobbler?
Yeah, he retired from acting for a while.
He's fixing
and became
shoes?
a cobbler's apprentice.
No.
Yep. This was before he came back and did a Phantom Thread.
So did he do the shoe thing for the Phantom Thread? Does he fix shoes in that movie?
I have no idea.
What a weirdo. Did he fix shoes
That's our president you're talking about.
Did he fix shoes as President Lincoln? I fix your shoe. That didn't work. It didn't work. We're aborting it.
It didn't work.
This joke will come out of my YAHNE episode. I only get one.
Right, keep going.
Mason laughs like that rabbit from that Disney cartoon. You know the one I'm talking about?
Winnie the Pooh?
No, like the tortoise and the hare one. Mason, do the laugh.
Oh.
No, he's like,
I don't know what we're referencing.
It's going to be a whole episode full of that. So, The Thief and the Cobbler. We're going to talk about a little wonderful Canadian man called Richard Williams. What did Richard Williams do that I know about, you ask? There's this little indie picture from 1988 called Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And the rumor is he directed all the animation for that.
It's not a rumor. He actually did that.
Yeah.
He actually did it.
Thank you for fact-checking me on this YAHNE episode. And he loved the character of Baby Herman so much, he personally animated every frame, and that just makes me so happy.
Interesting character to fall in love with. He voices Droopy the dog
yes, he does.
in the movie, right?
Yeah, and he does. Yeah. I think he does Droopy in all the shorts, too. Not the original Droopy shorts, the Roger Rabbit shorts.
I watched one of those Roger Rabbit shorts actually this morning, the camping one. Gosh, that was good.
I love.
Yeah, I saw that was on YouTube randomly. It was like coming up in my recommended.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened with me.
Me too.
Why?
But I watched Roller Coaster Red. They're all great. That's a solid trilogy. I don't think Richard Williams is involved at all. So
actually, while I was watching this, I realized what I know Richard Williams from before Roger Rabbit.
Tell me. What do you know him from?
He did the opening animation to Return of the Pink Panther.
Yes, he did.
Because I'm watching like this, the Thief and the Cobbler looks like the Pink Panther animations in front of Monty Python backgrounds.
Yes, that is a great description of that. He also did this bonkers Raggedy Ann movie.
Which I really want to see after watching this.
It's great. No, it's all on YouTube. I love it. It's weird, but I highly recommend you check it out. But let's get into the meat of this review.
Yes.
So, in the mid-60s, Richard Williams wanted to make the ultimate animated masterpiece. He wanted to make the greatest animated movie ever made and use all his talent and put it into one passion project. So, for 3 decades, he worked on it, off and on. Like, he was working on it during Roger Rabbit and the Raggedy Ann movie and all that.
That's
he was working
crazy.
on it. Back and forth. I think he recorded all the Vincent Price's stuff like before he started so he could time it to it.
Right. I think he recorded the Vincent Price stuff in 73 or 75.
Yeah, I know it was the 70s.
Okay, no, so that was like a decade into production, but still, I'm glad we got it all because it's great.
Oh, Zigzag, who Vincent Price plays.
No, we'll get into it when we get into the plot.
Okay,
but let me just get the history real quick.
Keep going.
I'm going to give you the short version because we're already 22 minutes into this thing. So, in the early 90s, late 80s, Warner Brothers and other studios tried to take it from him to get it finished. And in the early, like 92, after he screened the work print, they realized it was going to take even longer because of how much was unfinished. So they got a Bond finishing company that took over production, slapped it together with some cheap linking animation, put some terrible songs in, got some celebrities like Matthew Broderick, Jonathan Winters, Jessica Biel?
Sure.
Jessica Biels? Jennifer Beals?
No one knows who she is anyway, so keep going.
Yeah, she plays Yum Yum, whatever, it doesn't matter. But she sounded like a famous person. And Toni Collette, actually, I found out, weird fact, from, she was the mom in Little Miss Sunshine and Krampus.
Huh.
She played the old lady.
Oh, no kidding.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, I thought that was odd, but, like, she probably did the best out of the new voices they shoved in there.
I don't know. I honestly, Jonathan Winters is wonderful.
I hated him.
No, we'll get into it. All right, so here's what I want to do, because there's a lot to talk about and a lot to unpackage. So what we're going to do first is give a general synopsis for both films.
Okay.
Because they're pretty similar for the most part in terms of what happens. Mm-hmm. So which one of you wants to take that away?
I can do the Miramax version.
Okay. Start us off with that, and then we'll do. I think Mason can talk about the Recobbled, and I'll talk about that with him, and we can all chime in and talk about what's different.
Sounds good.
And then we'll do a comparison and a final analysis. So, what do you take it away?
All right. So the Miramax version starts off with some floating planets, some shooting stars, which it turns out are actually Arabian Nights flying through the sky. What they're doing there, I don't know. But we hear our narrator, who is the wonderful Matthew Broderick.
Matthew Broderick.
That's a lot of fish.
There were 3 golden balls.
Long before the tales of Aladdin.
This film came out 2 years after Aladdin.
But it was in production first, so they kind of beat it. It's weird.
Yeah, no, the whole thing that, like, Aladdin takes so much inspiration from this, and then when Miramax's version rips off so much from Aladdin. Like, there's one point where Tak does a thing, and he just says, "Who needs a genie?"
Yes, no, he says something. And first of all, what's weird is Zigzag is like if Jafar and Genie were morphed into one.
No, absolutely.
Because of how he moves and the fact that he's blue. is very Genie.
Well, the beard and everything too is Genie.
But everything else is Jafar.
Yeah. Can I? No, I'll keep going. I'll keep talking about the plot. But
Okay, yeah, keep going.
Matthew Broderick, it says, "Oh, I'm Tack. I'm this shoe cobbler, and then this is the thief. He doesn't say much, but boy, does he think a lot." And that's when we hear Jonathan Winters.
I love how condescending this is. Go on. And boy, does he think a lot.
He does. Now,
So
do
bad.
either of you know why they cast Jonathan Winters in this?
Because he's a comedian that was probably.
Do you
cheap.
know something? Yeah, do you know something we don't, or are you just asking?
Well, I mean, his casting comes directly off of Robin Williams' success in Aladdin, because
White Jonathan Winters.
Jonathan Winters was a huge inspiration to Robin Williams.
For the Genie?
No, just
In life?
Robin
No,
Williams
I know
comedy.
they were close. They were close.
Yeah. Like,
All right, that's something I didn't know. That's great. Okay.
Robin got Jonathan on Mork and Mindy.
Yep,
Like,
yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
Winters was his inspiration. So Miramax just thought, well, if we can't get Williams, let's get the guy that inspired him. And
Can you imagine if the thief was voiced by Robin Williams though? Ho, look at this. Yes. Oh wow, doesn't this seem familiar? Ho.
I haven't held 3 balls in my hand since Tahiti. Whoa, whoa.
good morning, Baghdad. Now, look,
You could use some sunshine, boy.
I love
Robin
silent
Williams are so
characters.
bad.
Harpo, Chaplin,
Well,
Buster.
We'll get to how this character is done right.
They're great
Let's just
silent
talk about the
characters. But I love this thief with the mind of Jonathan Winters, because it really sounds like they just sat Jonathan Winters down in a booth.
Absolutely.
And
For like an afternoon.
Yeah, and he's just watching the movie and riffing it. That's all. It sounds like I'm watching a movie with Jonathan Winters and he's riffing.
And with this one, I'm going to Disney World.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's a beautiful day for the pole vaulting contest. I'm like, this is him just going off the fly. Not all the jokes land, but that's the fun of it. So
It's like they had his script on fire, so he had to read it real quick before it burnt up in his hand.
yeah, so basically the thief is stealing a bunch of things. That's what I noticed between the differences between the Miramax and the Recobbled cut without the Jonathan Winters narration. The Miramax version, the thief seems much more greedy and he wants to steal. In the Recobbled cut, it's much more like the thief is stealing out of compulsion. Like he just can't help himself.
He's just a klepto in the Recobbled.
Yeah, and it's much
and
more
real quick,
Wile E. Coyote of a performance.
Oh, absolutely. No, I question though, because I watched it both today. In the Miramax one, does he steal 2 hand or back scratchers, or does he just steal the one?
He just steals the one because they don't have the gruesome implication
It's
of chopping
so
off hands.
good though.
Yeah, I
It's
was
so
actually going to
good.
mention
It's
that.
a
I
great
love
gag.
that scene.
Yeah.
I thought that was really clever.
So the
Also, they don't have what Cobbler.
Thankfully.
What cobbler?
Because it doesn't make sense.
because the cobbler doesn't say anything.
Wait. We're giving.
No one's gonna have any idea.
We're
what
gonna have
talking
no
about.
idea
We
what
need
we're
to
talking about.
All right.
We need to get through the plot.
Let me just do the general plot of
It's
both
pretty
films.
simple.
Yeah,
It's pretty simple.
There are 3 golden balls that protect the city. Only in the Miramax,
which is never explained in either one. They
think-
take them.
Yeah, in the Recobbled cut, they do it really well where it's implied that the balls are what's keeping it safe, but there's no definitive reason for them to believe that. But when the balls are stolen by the thief, that's when this soldier comes in warning of an incoming army by this villain known as One Eye.
Yeah, and One Eye I don't even think attacks until Zigzag brings him the balls. So it's all real self-fulfilling prophecy, I think.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
no,
That's exactly
no.
what it is.
No, because I know at least in the Recobbled cut, which I think it's like halfway through, you finally see One Eye for the first time, and then he is proclaiming while the one soldier is escaping with like 100 arrows in his back, proclaiming that he's conquered the rest of the world. He's conquered the rest of the world. Now he's going to get the Golden City, which is Baghdad.
Okay.
Yeah, but like the timing of it, in the Recobbled cut, it makes it look like it could be real, it couldn't be. It's it's up to you, and I like that.
That's ambiguous. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So really, this film can be divided into halves. The first half is just getting to know the characters and screwing around in Baghdad, watching the thieves steal things and wander around.
A lot of that.
And then about half. Yeah. Well, this film has 2 acts really, because the plot really doesn't kick in till about halfway through when the balls are stolen and the princess takes the cobbler to go find a witch in the desert that has the secret to defeating One Eye, and it's up to them to stop this monster.
Where did the balls go?
Well, okay. That I was just doing the overall plot.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So that's it. I would love to just discuss the differences now.
Let's talk about the differences. All right, and a brief history of me watching this. I've seen the Recobbled cut. This is probably my 3rd time.
Mm-hmm.
This was my first time seeing the Miramax cut all the way through. At Goodwill, I happened upon the VHS, so I just decided to watch that one.
If you ever want to part with that copy, I will take it.
You can find it real cheap, and if I ever find another one, you actually want to own the Miramax one?
Okay, well, I feel like I should save that for the end of my opinion.
All right, that's fine. I'm just shocked. I just wanted to own it just because if I ever want to show people and compare and because like if I show them the documentary and I showed them the Recobbled cut, people are like, well, what's the Miramax version look like? How bad did they screw it up? And then I have a copy and I can show people. But I am shocked, like, because what I remembered about it was like they added the voiceovers and the songs and it's a little shorter.
Mm-hmm.
But what I didn't know is like that machine at the end where the thief is kind of slowly accidentally destroying it. That is chopped to bits.
Yeah, no, it is.
So much is missing.
Yeah.
And the machine at the end, just, the whole... I love all the different ways when it starts to burn down, how it starts killing various guards. Like, there's literally guards standing on a broom pan, and a broom just comes and sweeps them off to their death.
Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious. And like
it's
an
one
ironing
of the most
board.
impressive... Yeah. No, the giant iron's great, yeah.
I think this is...
like The Last Jedi.
This film has to have... This has to be the animated film with the highest body count I've ever seen.
Oh, I'm sure. Unless there's like an anime. There's probably an anime now that we...
that's true. That's true.
No, but that machine at the end has to be the most impressive piece of traditional animation I've ever watched.
Yeah, that and the
it's
chase
beautiful.
between the cobbler and the thief.
The highlight of the film is definitely
truly
those two sequences.
One thing I think we should start off with is talking about the differences between cast between the Recobbled cut. Okay. Now, can we clarify what specifically the Recobbled cut is? Because I don't think we ever mentioned that.
Okay, no, yeah, I forgot to give history on that. Now, there are 2 different sort of cuts that I recommend you seek out. One I just found out about today, the 1992 work print that Richard Williams showed Miramax before they took it over, that he just finally showed to the public like a year or 2 ago.
Oh wow!
Is on a DVD, which I was gonna plug at the end, but I'll plug it now because I want people to go out and find this thing because there's 2 ways. It's on a DVD for $25, along with the documentary on the whole in-depth making of this film.
He's still alive?
Yeah, he's 84.
Richard Williams, absolutely still alive. Yes,
but
he just refused to talk about this for the longest time.
I thought he died. I thought that's why Miramax bought it.
No, he didn't die. He got it taken away from him, and he's just been
he just
devastated.
He had an animated short come out in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
No kidding.
Yep.
Yeah, he's still very active. He teaches animation classes. He has the most in-depth and wonderful books on the processes of animation that you should all check out. It's really expensive.
Wow.
Anyways, so there's a documentary called The Persistence of Vision about the in-depth making of this movie by a director who I cannot remember, but look it up on Facebook and you'll see all his information. And there's a link to his Etsy page where you can buy the documentary. And on the second disc is the 1992 work print.
That sounds amazing.
So I'm totally going to save up and get that. But there's that. But what paved the way for that is, weirdly enough, a guy named Garrett Gilchrist, who I heard about because he made a movie called Gorilla Interrupted with Red Letter Media, and I've been following the Recobbled cut for years and just never made the connection that was him. But he has painstakingly gone through and tried to find all available finished, unfinished versions of scenes.
Pencil test, storyboards.
Yeah, pencil test, storyboards, exactly. Yeah. Unfinished animation, and put them all in the sequential order with, I think he got the Laserdisc of the Miramax version to get the most HD versions of those scenes possible.
Gotcha. I was wondering how he did that. Yeah.
No, yeah. He restored those because Laserdisc and
yeah. So the film is essentially bits of the Miramax version with like pencil tests or storyboards.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And sometimes he kept in contact with different animators and things and got some of the materials that way.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
And that's how I was looking today watching the credits, and like how he put the music together was interesting because he used as little bits of the Miramax score as possible with some of the original score he actually found, and then all the rest is just classical music.
Yeah, I like that. I thought that was a nice touch. It was very Looney Tunes-esque.
Yeah,
absolutely. So,
he had Vincent Price dialogue that wasn't in the Miramax one. So I was wondering how he got his hands on that. Can we talk about Vincent Price in this?
He's the best part of both movies. Like the two things that were keeping me through the Miramax version was Vincent Price, who wasn't altered in any way except the stuff was missing. But like I think there was one line where they got someone else to dub it where he was off screen. I can't prove that, but it didn't sound like him.
Which line is it?
I'd have to watch it again. There's one line
no worries.
caught me off guard.
Oh yeah, can you please watch the Miramax version again?
No, it'll be a long while before that happens. But no,
he plays the villainous Zigzag.
Yes, he's the Jafar of this movie,
essentially. But the thing I loved about him is that he's not Jafar, where he's a complete sham, and he's just kind of...
Yes, he is.
He's not really a wizard or a sorcerer. He's just kind of going with the flow. Like when the balls are first stolen and the thief drops them in the courtyard and they're banging around. My favorite line is this opportunity ringing?
It's so good. And he talks to like the guy with like the squirrely nose and those guys.
Yeah.
Really bizarre designs, but great.
Basically his idea is, well, if I steal the balls, I can pretend to magically have them reappear in exchange to marry the Sultan's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
kind of like Jafar's plan.
Why, that would be me.
Me? But you also...
But now I have the balls.
Which is an actual line.
He has... Yes, it is. No, he I don't know if they meant to make so many testicle jokes, but you could totally view it that way.
And I never thought
taking
I'd
my
hear
balls
Vincent Price
and leaving.
say that so much.
Now I have the bones.
He has 6 fingers, I noticed.
Oh, does he?
Yes, he does. And he has like a ton of rings, and it's fascinating. Because usually for animation it's easier just to have 4.
Are you telling me?
Right.
Are you telling me he is the 6-finger man?
He's technically the 12-fingered man, but yeah.
Well, okay.
He's just absolutely one of the most beautifully animated characters
It's one of my favorite piece of character animation. It's so
in the Recobbled cut, when he's talking about how he can control people and he's using the deck of cards to talk about it, it's mind-blowing how good that looks.
Isn't that the same in the Miramax cut? I felt that was pretty much the same.
I don't remember it in the Miramax cut.
I think because he does the dragon bit and like talks how he can control creatures in the Miramax, but he doesn't talk about how he can control people.
Well, speaking of that, let's talk about the concubine scene that I completely forgot
Oh my gosh, that was like, I was shocked by that.
Because when you sent me a text and it's like, oh my gosh, Winnie, are you sure you want to watch this? I thought you were talking about when she's taking a bath. I'm like, you don't see anything. I didn't know the Sultan was getting it on.
No, not just that. Not even just that. Not even just that. There was even more. Yes, he brings him in the Recobbled cut. He's brought a concubine and they're...
Yes.
They're
porcupine.
I know, I said that like an animal. It's not an animal. But
she's a woman.
She's a woman. I know. It's 2018. But yeah,
I'm not making any jokes here.
The Sultan is brought a concubine, but even then, in the Miramax cut, they completely cut around it, which is probably for the best considering it's
I watched them in the wrong order, because if I had watched the Recobbled first and then the Miramax, I would have been looking for that. Because I didn't.
Because all you see of the concubine is her eye popping out behind the curtain, and I bet that's still in the Miramax version.
I'm sure it is.
Oh, but that's not it. That's not all I was surprised about. I was surprised about One Eye's throne.
Oh yeah.
Being made out
the women
of concubines.
That's in the Miramax.
No,
that is
it's in the background, but they never point it out. It's completely pointed out in the Recobbled cut.
thought you were talking about when the thief is like going to the drain system and you hear the salt.
Oh yeah, that was messed up too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, that was ridiculous.
It's like,
but in the Miramax version, the thief bumps into his mother while climbing up the drain pipes. We don't see anything, so it's
forgot about how terrible it was.
Mom, what are you doing here?
Why do you never visit?
What?
That might have been the only time I laughed at something new.
Oh, I was losing it. It was so funny.
What?
Poor Jonathan Winters was trying so hard to make this work.
You can tell he's just grateful to be there. Like, oh, someone asked me to voice a character in an animated movie. I'll gladly do it.
That won't happen till Papa Smurf.
Yeah.
Also, let's just talk about the songs real quick and get it out of the way.
Oh, okay. So whenever a song pops in, especially the first one, it looks like it goes from Richard Williams to Hanna-Barbera animation.
No, the animation's so
You mean Barbera?
Thank you. I knew I missaid it.
Well, he's going to watch the documentary later. Yay, the episode. Go on.
But it just, like, the animation just becomes so flat.
It's bad. It's like, especially with how expressive those guys in what are they called? The guys in the desert?
The Brigands.
The Brigands are so like fluid.
Yeah.
Bouncy before that, and
then they get to the song. That song, it was my breaking point in the Miramax cut. When it went into that song, I'm like,
terrible song.
What?
That's the only one I remember.
That was my
low. Because there's Tack and Yum Yum's little duet, which is pretty terrible. Her spinning song about wanting more, and then that one, that's the only memorable one, because they're talking about how they got thrown out of school.
This is what you do when you don't go to school.
Yeah.
I feel like none of the animation's great during the musical numbers, but I feel like that's the best animated one because the characters are so visually interesting.
Yeah, that is true.
You mean Yum Yum just kind of spins?
In the first one, Yum Yum's just kind of going back and forth.
More than this.
Mason remembers the song.
The movie deserved more than this. I was hoping for more of a laugh
also,
there.
I was pissed. They cut out the witch for the most part, and I think her animation's fantastic in the Recobbled.
That was actually the only part in the Recobbled cut that I wasn't 100% on.
I
really no. When she pops up for the first time and like pulls out her stethoscope and everything, like that animation was beautiful. Like, it almost looked 3-dimensional.
The animation was fine. I didn't have a problem with that. I just had no idea what was going on here. It was just...
No, she's just off her rocker.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Because she's barely in the Miramax.
No,
in
the Miramax version, she's a puff of smoke for like maybe
which
a
they
minute.
don't explain. Which they explain in the Recobbled.
Yeah,
that's the big thing about the Miramax cut is they don't care. About anything.
Doesn't she get high in the Recobbled cut? Because that's what it looks like she's doing.
Can you please clarify? Does she get high and then blow herself up?
Yes.
Because that's exactly what it looked like.
But
that's totally what it is too. Yes, she's. I'm sorry. You can cut that part out.
I'll censor it.
Okay, I'll try again. Wait, she's just G. Willikers bonkers, Mason. I'm sorry, guys.
YAHNE episode, woo!
Yay! But no, she's just insane.
Yeah.
I like to think because I believe there's no actual magic in this universe because Zigzag's full of crap, and then because he thinks the balls are magicked away, he sends them to this insane witch, and she's full of herself and accidentally kills herself. Just
well, okay, in the Miramax version, she's One Eye's sister, and she has his other eye. But in the Recobbled cut, she clearly has two eyes. So is she not One Eye's sister in this?
No,
Yeah, no.
they just were like, well, we don't have much to go off of, so this has to make sense somehow.
Yeah, and there's that weird floating eye bit.
Yeah. What was it? They reuse animation in both cuts of the thief looking up at the three balls.
Yeah, they do.
I thought, oh, this is just lazy Miramax, and like, oh no, it's in the Recobbled cut too. Okay.
Well, to be fair, the Recobbled cut is an unfinished movie, so
Right.
maybe they just didn't have that shot.
And it's not a director's cut.
Yeah.
No, that's why I want to watch the work print and see what's different.
Because that's the closest we're going to get to a director's cut.
I don't know. I feel like I know he had a hand in helping them track down a lot of those. Garrett did on tracking down a lot of those materials for the documentary and stuff. Like on the DVD, there's a lot of deleted scenes and stuff that weren't even in the Recobbled cut.
Mm-hmm.
Which my theory is that they were like partially animated, but like weren't in the script he was going off of.
That could be. Well, I mean, yeah, because like in the Recobbled cut, we see Zigzag before he's this big blue creature, and he just looks like Jafar.
Yeah, no, there's some early stuff where you can see his design isn't quite finished yet,
Yeah.
like where he's walking upstairs and stuff, and some of the pencil tests.
Yeah, so I feel like Richard Williams is working through the story as he's animated.
Well, that's how they do like a lot of cartoons, like SpongeBob. They don't write a script for an episode; that they do storyboard scripts.
Right, but you don't see that in animated movies, especially back then when he's making this in the 70s.
No, and from what I understand, I don't know. I'm sure there was a lot of stuff like Disney did on Snow White where he's like, "Well, this isn't quite what I want to do it again," because he's a perfectionist.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell by how painstaking some of those scenes look.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, they're just beautiful. Like, yeah, it has the beauty of it's more beautiful than Yellow Submarine,
I agree. No, I love Yellow Submarine. The only reason it's higher on my list of animated movies is because Thief and the Cobbler isn't finished.
Yeah, it almost has a Dali feel to the backgrounds, just the paintings, and I love the use of checkers in like the flooring and the stairs.
No, that whole chase sequence is
It's a little MC
so
Escher.
out there. Oh, entirely. Yeah, like how
Well, it's not-
you
yeah,
can't
it's a
quite
lot
figure
of-
out the perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Like where Zigzag's going up one stair and then Tech's... Well, that isn't that scene. It's a different one. But Zigzag's going up one stair and he completely misses Tech because he's going down another one. But it looks, it's seamless. It's great. But yeah, let's talk about Tech real quick because he's just kind of there in the Recobbled and just insufferable in the Miramax.
Yeah, no. In the Miramax version, Matthew Broderick is horrible as Tack.
And
he just talks way too much. Yeah, in the Recobbled cut, he's there. He's meant to be the silent hero, which is nice. His last line at the end is terrifying.
Yeah.
Because out of nowhere, it's just this deep,
It's Sean
growly
Connery.
voice.
It wasn't.
It was
wasn't
supposed to
mixed
be
well.
Sean Connery.
Yeah, but he didn't show up that day
Yeah.
of recording.
No, yeah, here's the confusing thing, as I was watching the credits. It credits Sean Connery once, and then it credits another guy later.
Yeah.
So,
It's weird, but it's not
Yeah.
Sean Connery. I think it's just some guy trying to sound like Sean Connery. So it's like,
I
love you too.
I
And
love you, wife.
It's so deep, and it comes out of nowhere. It literally freaked me out when I heard it.
Yeah, I just don't think it was mixed well.
That
And like that's one change I wouldn't mind if they just found someone, whatever. and
even
mixed
if
it
you
in
get
right.
Matthew Broderick to do the last line, that's
Well, let's
fine.
not do that because I don't want to watch the Recobbled or any other cut and just be immediately reminded before the end of the movie that other cut exists. So
Chris Pratt.
K-
He can do it.
How does One Eye die or is defeated in the Miramax version?
I don't remember.
Because in the Recobbled cut, it looks like he's snoo-snooed to death.
He's not snoo-snooed to death.
It
But
looks like it.
They
It
just
does.
all his like evil soldier
right.
ladies just sit on
My
him.
They're
question is, what was
concubines,
stopping
buddy.
them
They're
from doing that
concubines.
before?
Well, in the Recobbled cut, it looks like they're about to throw him off the cliff he's on, but then they just put him down and like.
All right, I don't think you understand how Snoo works.
I do.
There's only so many. Anyways, we won't get into that.
What, Cobbler?
Maybe they ate him. What take was that from?
I don't know. Okay, Zigzag's death, where he's eaten by the crocodiles, and his
Fido talks in the Miramax one too. They gave Fido a voice.
Yeah,
no,
that was actually one thing that I absolutely loved about the Recobbled cut. I really like Fido. I know that sounds stupid, but I love the way he's animated. I love his movement, and I watched the Miramax version first, and I was so angry, and I was like, I pray to God that he does not talk in the Recobbled cut. And he makes his noises, but
whoever they got
makes
to
bird noises.
Yeah.
Whoever they got to voice Fido in the Miramax cut is no Jonathan Winters. I can say that much. But like, in the Recobbled
they showed him
cut,
a clip. They showed him a clip of what they got with Jonathan Winters, and he said, "You see that? We want you to do that." I'm like, "Oh, okay. I mean, all
I
right."
can do the dumpster fire version of that. Sure.
Do the alligators talk too? I don't remember.
In the Miramax cut, yes.
I just assume everybody talks. Oh, that's.
But not in the Recobbled cut.
No, I know nobody. Pretty much only Yum Yum, the Sultan,
and Zigzag. Oh, and One Eye.
Talk.
Yeah.
Also, one thing about the Recobbled cut I've always thought weird is how they do that singy stuff.
What?
When someone will make a command and then they'll have like a choir of people like.
Oh yeah.
That's very 70s.
Yeah. Yes.
All I could think of is "Go capture Santa, go capture," or whatever it is from Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, kidnap the Santa Claus.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of.
What's the one in Hercules that kind of do that?
Oh, our hero's a zero.
That's what I thought of. I was thinking of Bobcat Goldthwait as a little monster man.
I really was attracted to you.
Hercules is great. Go watch Hercules, everyone.
I'm trying to think. Is there anything else we want to talk about?
All right. So, in summary, YAHNE.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Do you want to say which one you'd watch again?
Oh, that's obvious. I want to hear why you want to own the Miramax one, and then we'll get into that.
My honest opinion is, I would watch the Miramax one again before I watch the Recobbled cut. This is because the Miramax version it definitely is one of my favorite bad movies. Because
interesting.
The Recobbled cut is an unfinished film.
It is.
If it was finished and if it had its full orchestra, soundtrack, finished animation, it would be beautiful and wonderful. But the fact is right now it's unfinished.
I think it might always be.
Yeah. With the Miramax version, it is not a well finished film, but it is finished. And for me, it's just like we have the terrible jokes, the terrible narration and dialogue, along with this beautiful animation. It's the best of both worlds. It's not like any other.
I think I understand.
Yeah,
I feel the same way about the theatrical cut of Blade Runner. Because that narration by Harrison Ford is so funny, and he does not want to do it.
Jonathan Winters
I understand
makes
what you're
the
saying.
Miramax version for me. And like we don't really lose any of Zigzag. We don't, we still have the beautiful finished animation chases and everything.
But you got Matthew Broderick talking over them.
Matthew Broderick is the worst. Well, he's not worse than Fido, but
no, but he's almost Fido level. Fido doesn't talk as much as him. So I chased him through this corridor, but it felt like it was never ending.
I can't believe I was pretending to be one of the king's guards or whatever.
Shut up.
I couldn't believe what I was saying.
What is the last line Matthew Broderick has in this film? Because Miramax just felt like they needed to shove in a message.
Oh, yeah. So next time you see a shooting star, be proud of who you really are.
Is that what we were supposed to learn, man?
Believe what is true and do what's right,
that
and
what the
one day
message
you'll be
was?
an Arabian. This movie had no message. It was just good. It
No.
was just a fun thing.
Yeah.
Well, the Recobbled cut does not have a message.
No, it doesn't.
It does not.
I'm gonna understand where Winnie's coming from, because I do like the theatrical cut of Blade Runner for all the same reasons.
Right. Yeah. I'm not
Because
saying the
the-
Miramax
because
version
you
is
get-
better.
You get this beautiful speech from Rutger Hauer at the end of Blade Runner, and then you have Harrison Ford brutally explain what it is to the audience. Like, I think he meant life is worth living, and in those last minutes, it's like, shut up.
Shut up, Harrison. Shut up.
But no, I understand. The Recobbled cut is still one of my favorite animated movies of all time.
Yeah, I'm not
And
saying the
really-
Recobbled cut is worse. It's just I enjoy the Miramax version more because it's so bad.
I understand, but I'm
beautiful
still
looking.
a little disappointed.
It's like I listened to your whole speech, but I took away the wrong message.
You did. And that's okay, I guess. At least you're seeing the animation in some form.
Yeah.
You're just seeing it in the worst possible way ever. But no, like, I love that the Recobbled cut just takes its time. Like, that whole sequence at the end with the machine falling apart.
Oh,
Maybe that's
absolutely.
too long for some people, but, like, you're just watching... It's kind of like a Wile E. Coyote cartoon, especially
absolutely
with the thief, just watching him do his thing. It's great.
Yeah. Like you feel like this would be a Merry Melodies, but for me, what hurts it is there isn't music set to the animation. It's just classical music put with the animation, so it's not quite the same thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Another tragedy here. Roy Disney was trying to get it finished at some point. He was picking it up, but once he died in 2009, that project died with him.
Oh man, that would have been
'Cause
great.
I could see, like, someone put the money into it,
Yeah, and actually
like,
finish the animation.
have a new
Yeah.
score, finish the animation, mix the audio a little bit better. I'm not pooping on what Garrett did, because he
Yeah,
did
no,
great.
neither am I.
Yeah.
But, like, I feel like a professional studio like Criterion or Disney or someone could pick this up and finish it and make that masterpiece happen. 'Cause
Well,
Richard Williams is still alive.
Disney
Yeah.
would never do it. Disney would never do that now.
No, I agree. So Criterion, I think, is
Criterion
perfect.
would probably be your
Would be
best
great.
bet, or Warner Brothers.
You think WB would do it?
I would put money on WB before I'd put it on, Disney, or even honestly, I know this is gonna sound crazy, but possibly DreamWorks.
No, I don't think
That doesn't sound too crazy. Like if you said just alligators finishing the film, that would have been crazy.
No,
A group of small hamsters will finish the film.
but
Then
no,
I would've judged you for it.
lemmings.
using
Silk
mostly
spiders.
spoons.
But I feel like there's by most of the people, I don't know. I maybe the DreamWorks thing's a bit of a pipe dream thing, but
I can't see them finishing it.
Yeah.
But-
They got their own problems.
yeah, they do, don't they?
What about Netflix?
No,
No.
absolutely not.
Nope. They don't put
No,
money
because
towards good animation.
they finished Orson Welles' last movie, didn't they? Or
Yeah, but
something
that's
like
live action, and that's a bit
Yeah.
easier.
that. Okay,
Yeah. So Criterion, if you're listening,
they won't
Please.
be, but if
no,
you
they
are,
won't. My wife doesn't
Please,
even
please,
listen to
please,
this.
please,
I'm kidding.
finish it. Just finish it for me. Heck, get Miyazaki on this or something.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
just Studio Ghibli. Someone pick this up and finish it. Throw it into theaters. It'll get best animated. I'm not sure how that works with the movie that took 50 years to make, but that's beside the point. Just get this thing finished. Like, I appreciate Garrett and his work on the Recobbled cut. I appreciate that I can go out and buy the work print on DVD. That's amazing, and I just found that out today. But, like, I can see this being a possibility to just finish it. All the elements are there.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
shall we move on to palate cleansers?
Oh, real quick, just because of your opinion, Winnie, I want to hear Mason trash the Miramax, and then we can do that.
Okay.
Because YAHNE episode.
Yeah, I'm the Miramax. While I completely agree with everything that that Lakaitis, I completely understand where he's coming from with it. It's just a shallow, it's an empty husk of what the vision of this film is. While the Recobbled cut is, you're right, an unfinished piece. I'd rather see an unfinished masterpiece than a finished dumpster pile.
Exactly.
So there's so much to admire and enjoy about the Recobbled cut and the vision of this film that I think it's worth watching. Given the choice, watching the Recobbled cut and watching even, considering the small missing pieces here or there, it's still worth it for the experience that you get. I was not looking forward to watching the Recobbled cut after my experience with Miramax. Not that I didn't like it. It's just like I was like, I'm not ready to do that again. I've been through every Scooby-Doo movie. I'm not ready to do this.
No, not every Scooby-Doo movie. There's still one
Shut
more
up.
we have for you.
Shut up.
That's true. Mason, let me ask you this then. Is like the Miramax version one of the worst things you watched on this?
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I've watched worse here.
That is true.
Which I mean,
that
again,
Benji movie really did a number on me.
That's why I agree. I completely understand where Lakaitis is coming from. But
if the work print and the Recobbled cut weren't out there,
you'd have no interest in the Miramax version.
No. Well, it's tough. It's tough because I feel like if you just turn the volume off and like watch the chase scene and a couple of the stuff that's mostly complete from the work print, do that. But
and I'd say if you're in the mood for a film that's on level with The Room or Birdemic or any other great bad movie, watch the Miramax version.
I might have to watch it again in that mindset because I just go into it knowing that they butchered and destroyed a man. Butchered a masterpiece and destroyed a man.
That is true, but I feel like it's a great bad movie.
I can see that. Yeah. No, you can actually find it. I was searching on eBay for the Recobbled cut, but you can find the Miramax version on like one of those $5 bin, like you throw 10 movies onto like a couple discs.
Oh wow!
So I will find it for you and send it to you.
I might just go a looking.
Okay.
So we've had some terrible movies in our mouth.
We had a terrible movie. Watch a masterpiece because YAHNE episode.
So let's wash it out with something good, something we've been enjoying.
Because it's a YAHNE episode and I don't like that we have to wash things out of our mouths in your version. The palate cleanser is now like a toothbrush. No, that's still phallic in your mouth. We'll go with yours. That's fine.
So Tyler, what have you been watching that's been good?
No, Winnie, what have you been watching? YAHNE episode. Bam. Go.
Okay. The thing I actually wanted to recommend is because so Billy Graham passed away recently.
He did?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know he was still alive when I heard that announcement.
Yeah, really.
I'm not gonna lie. Like
I didn't know that the guy that did even the Cobbler was still alive. So
for me, it's not one of those deaths like, oh, it's sad to see him go. It's just like, yeah, that's probably good for them. Finally pop off.
Good you got out of there before you started embarrassing yourself.
But there's a great episode of the Netflix show The Crown that involves Billy Graham coming to England and talking with the Queen, but also the episode it's about Billy Graham, forgiveness, Nazis, an English king that was a Nazi sympathizer. It's an amazing episode and actually happened. And it's so interesting because I didn't know this part of history was a thing. And it's so good. If you have Netflix, I just say go watch this episode of The Crown. I think overall the show's good, but this is the only episode I've actually really sat through and watched. What
is The Crown about? I've heard it in passing, but I don't know anything about it.
It's about a young Queen Elizabeth and King Philip. It follows them before they became king and queen, before they got married. It's actually really interesting. It has what is his name?
Matt
from
Smith.
Third Rock from the Sun.
Oh.
John Lithgow?
Yeah, John Lithgow as Winston Churchill, and he's great.
Oh, now I'm sold.
Yeah. Matt Smith, who's the 11th Doctor, plays Prince Philip.
Who plays Queen Elizabeth?
I do not know the actress's name, but she does really good.
Well,
okay. Could they not
does
afford
really well.
Judi Dench?
Oh, Dame Judi Dench is too old. This is about them as when they were younger. Yeah.
Well, when you think of Queen Elizabeth, you just think of this old woman. So
Well, that is true.
yeah. But it's against...
Supposedly,
it's playing against that
the real
perception.
Queen Elizabeth watches the show and enjoys it, but...
Is she still alive?
Yes.
Yes!
Tyler.
So many people are still living.
All right.
Are you
Mason,
saying
what
more
have you been
people
watching
should
that's good?
die? So I have been watching not a lot of great movies, but actually on the other side of the internet streaming world, I have been watching the Hulu series 11/22/63. Have either of you heard of it?
Is that the Stephen King, James Franco thing?
Yes, it is a
What?
Yeah, it is a series about a man. It's based on a book by Stephen King, where the main character, played by James Franco, is in modern times, but through a back door in a diner, can go back to the year 1960. So he's set on his quest by his boss to go live through 3 years and figure out and save President Kennedy from assassination. So it's this modern guy, and
You have to stop Magneto from bending the bullet.
Yeah, so it's basically him just kind of making it through the 60s, trying to unravel the mystery, doing reconnaissance on Lee Harvey Oswald, meeting a bunch of people along the way, Jack Ruby. I'm not too far into it. I think it's 8 episodes. I'm only in episode 3, I think.
Okay.
They're long
I've heard
episodes.
good things about it.
Yeah, they're long episodes. They're about an hour and a half each.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's
Like
really
Sherlock
good,
episodes.
really well made, incredible production quality, and I really like the characters. If you took the fact that there's the whole JFK conspiracy going on, I'd still be engaged because it's just they're good characters. It handles time travel interestingly. So I'm excited to see where it goes. I would like to, I'm excited to continue watching it. The other series back on the side of Netflix is the series came out recently, but it's called End of the Effing World. And
I've heard good things about that.
Yeah, and I'm about halfway through that one, maybe a little further than halfway, and that's pretty interesting. And what that is it's about a guy who has a certain penchant for killing things, little animals and stuff. He has an affinity for killing things, and he likes killing animals. So he figures it's time for him to graduate to killing people. So he picks this girl that just moves in to the town, and so strikes up a relationship with her. And she sort of has her own problems. She's very anti-authority and such. And so they start a road trip. Meanwhile, he's plotting all the ways to kill her. And the two start an unlikely friendship and even romance. And it kind of turns into an interesting adventure when things get complicated.
Sounds interesting.
That is not what I thought that show was going to be about.
Yeah.
How about you?
Really
How about you, Tyler?
I recently
Other than the
watched
Recobbled cut.
Yeah, I'm excited for that work print that's coming to my house soon.
Did you actually order it?
Not yet. I'm gonna wait till payday because there's 70 left. So unless this podcast really hits off and 70 people order before me, I think I'll be fine for a week. But
There you go.
Next payday. No, I watched the Oceans trilogy recently. Actually,
Interesting.
Really enjoyed it.
Really?
I quite enjoyed it. Yeah, no. The OCD in me really wants there to be an Oceans 9 and 10 after 8, because otherwise it's going to bother me. I don't even care if those movies are good. I just want them to exist so it doesn't numerically bother me. But
Be good.
they were fun movies. Like the first and the third are just fun little heist caper movies of how intricately they pull off this plot.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second one is so meandering.
I've heard the second one is the worst out of the
It's
three.
not bad. It's just like so different because I don't really know what it's about until the very end. Like Black
Interesting.
Panther.
Oh boy.
Hey.
Oh
Shut
boy.
up.
It's also the most self-indulgent because Julia Roberts' character has to pretend to be Julia Roberts to pull off a part of this heist.
Okay.
And they're all patting themselves in the back like, isn't this a good joke? Why hasn't another movie done this? And I'm like,
Oh, boy.
But yeah, I quite enjoyed them. I'll probably see the 8th one, which is the 4th one.
Yeah, no, I'll see it.
Have you seen
it has
those
a great
movies?
cast. I've seen the first Ocean's 11.
It's
I have
quite
not
fun.
seen 12 or 13. I've wanted to watch them. I just don't have access to them.
Carl Reiner is great.
Oh yeah, he's wonderful.
Oh, they're all on Netflix. You should give the other two a
Oh.
watch.
Well, yeah, definitely.
That's how I have it.
So we finally have a question, and we have time for the
Hey,
question.
no, this is a YAHNE show. I will ask the question. The question is, Winnie.
What's the question?
That's what I'm asking you.
All right. Well, we finally have time for one of Chad Moore's questions. Thank you, Chad, for continuing to ask us questions, even though we keep ignoring them.
You're cool.
Yeah.
You're our favorite fan so far.
Yeah.
You're one dynamite gal.
Dynamite gal. Dynamite
So-
gal.
Chad asks, or really, he starts off by saying, "Just watched The Criminal Minds episode 100, which got me
What?
wondering, what on-screen death has been the most difficult to watch on TV and in a movie for you?"
Is Criminal Minds still on?
Yeah, it is.
That's my question for you, Chad. Please tweet at us.
So, what's something when you guys watched it, maybe as a kid, maybe now, just something that like
Mason
when that
will
character
go
death
first.
No,
bothered
please
you?
don't, because this is bothering me. 'cause
Isn't this
I
a
don't
hard
know.
question? Because
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Any
No, I
real
got
death?
I got my answer. I'm
Okay,
all
go
good.
for it, Tyler.
Okay, it's gonna be stupid, but growing up, whenever the DeLorean gets hit by the train in Back to the Future Part 3, I get a little weepy. I'm like, I love that car and all the adventures they went in on it. And you just see, like, they don't cut away or anything. You see that thing get plowed down.
That does make me sad.
That's rough.
But let me think of an actual, like, person or character that's not a,
Yeah,
a
I'm
car.
trying to think because like
Then
my
they just
mind-
come back on a train, and I'm like, that's not as cool.
My mind went to the end of Raiders, but I don't think I saw that when I was a kid.
Who are you upset about, the Nazi?
Well, the face exploding, it's like that would freak a kid out.
That
I would
was
assume.
great.
But I think I was too old. No, it is great. It's
No, like,
wonderful.
what death upset you? Not, oh, those Nazis died. That makes me kind of bummed.
Oh, I know what freaked me out.
Okay.
In the movie We're Back, and the evil circus
Don't do this
carnival
to
guy
me.
with
Come
the screw
on.
for the eye when
Wait a
he's
minute.
eaten
Wait
by
a
the
minute.
crows.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Can we clarify? Is it a character's death that made you sad or scared you?
I
Yeah,
think
I'm
it's. I
confused.
thought it was what scared you, or
Oh, scared
It was.
me?
It was. The question is most difficult to watch. That for me was difficult to watch because it was freaky.
No,
He's
I
just
still stand
surrounded
by the
crows.
DeLorean then.
Oh yeah, no, you're fine. But for me, it was this guy being eaten by crows and then just his little screw eyes left. That was terrifying.
Yeah, for
Huh.
a kid, yeah, they eat them.
Huh.
It's
about
like
you- how
how
about
One
you,
Eye
Mace?
dies in The Thief and the Cobbler, except with crows instead of whores.
Women.
What?
Mason, you have any answers?
You know what? Yes, it was. Yes, a death that was always hard for me, difficult for me.
Mm-hmm.
Hook.
Oh.
Oh, Hook's death in Hook?
Hook's death is epic,
Yeah.
but
Come
also
on.
it's like scary.
It scared me as a kid.
It filled me
Yeah.
with a bunch of different emotions because, like, Captain Hook was my hero growing up, so I was sad.
Which is a little weird for a
It
kid,
is weird.
but-
it is weird. I know, but
Eh.
with that, but then just like Crook, Captain Hook. Anyway. But then also just like the croc is terrifying but awesome
Oh,
at the same
absolutely.
time. So
Yeah.
it filled me with a ton of emotions.
And he just
that I didn't know.
disappears.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess
And
as a
the
kid, for me,
score?
whenever the body just went away, freaked me out.
Yeah. That would probably be it for me growing up.
Mhm.
Yeah, if we're talking like a death that made me sad, I really can't think of anything. I was never really affected by like Mufasa or
Nemo's mom. That was hard.
Bumby's mom.
Bumby's mom. she's
Animaniacs is so great. I hope they don't screw up these next 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the question, Chad. If you, the other listener, has a question for us,
One
you
of
can
2 listeners.
You can tweet us at artificialpod on Twitter, or you can email us at artificialpod@gmail.com.
Yes.
And if you want to follow us, I'm on Twitter at Josh_Lakaitis. Mason, where can they find you?
You can find me at Good Old Price on Twitter, on Letterboxd, on Instagram, and you can find me as just Mason Betterly on Facebook. Also, speaking
That's
of
some consistent branding, right?
Yeah, I
there.
know, very consistent.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Also, if you guys have been watching our Artificial Entertainment Facebook page, you'll have seen we recently crossed 100 likes. So we're really getting up there. We're really getting up there. So as a bit of a thing.
I mean, 2 of those likes are pending, but come on.
So that's actually kind of cool. We really appreciate you listeners out there. As a way to show our appreciation, when we hit 250, we're actually going to do something cool for one.
I thought we already hit 100.
No, I know. I got to set another carrot. So when we hit 250, so invite your friends.
Oh, I thought you said 50. I'm
No,
like, so when we
250.
lose
No.
50
250.
followers.
My goodness.
We're going to do something for one listener out there. So
Chad.
invite your friends, get them listening, and maybe we won't be the least listened to podcast on the interwebs.
But for now, we speak for an audience of Chad.
Yeah, we speak for But where can they find you, Yaney?
Well, I've set up a little challenge for our listeners this week. It appears I have 3 Twitter usernames. 2 I made by accident back in school, and 1 I decided to set up for whatever. So you must figure out which one is me.
Oh boy. Well, that's our episode this week, folks. Thanks for watching. Yeah, thanks for watching us.
And listening.
Thanks for listening.
Like button, subscribe.
Oh my goodness. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
What are we
God
doing?
bless.
Okay.
No,
See
we need
you
to talk
next
about the
time.
next episode. No, we need to talk about the next Yeti episode. Mason, what's the next episode?
Mason episode's next episode.
Yay! What are we
Woohoo!
doing? Real quick, what are we doing?
Oh, you actually want to know? Okay. So, as many of you know, I have quite an affinity for Disney history. So what we're doing next week, or next episode, is we are all going to watch a film based on a Disney attraction. Not Pirates of the Caribbean, though.
Oh.
The bad movies based on Disney attractions.
Everything but
Oh,
the first
great
Pirates.
news. Tyler, great news. I just got an email from The Bachelor. You're in.
Nuh-uh.
Oh my gosh.
I guess I won't be in the next one because I'll be selling my soul on ABC.
Wow. Play me out,
We gotta
Bob.
get him a new wardrobe.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll bump into Frankie Muniz. He's probably doing Dancing with the Stars or something sad. Yeah, Frankie Muniz makes me so mad.